Hello trainers, Charcoonel here. This video is going to be a little different than most of the ones I've presented on my channel so far. This video is a chronicle of the quest I undertook at the end of June of 2019 to complete 7 Rainbow Cups in the space of 7 days. I will be presenting a little bit of the battle videos, but also some video I took at the different tournaments to try to show the experiences that I had and the people that I interacted with. And if you like this sort of content, please hit subscribe and like on the video and spread the word about this channel. So without any more delay, here are the 7 tournaments that I competed in. Okay, Rainbow Cup number 1, Beaver County, Pennsylvania, June 22nd. This was a 12 trainer tournament, a 4-round tournament. As you can see, I was the number 3 seed. I ended up finishing in a 4-way tie for the victory. Charcoonel there, along with Exile Exo, Lantis Santia, and BB Terra Douglas. This was a good start to my tournament, and I'll include some excerpts from the battles. I must apologize to my first round competitor, Sirtoon Daily. I neglected to videotape that battle. But I'll include some real quick footage of the other 3 battles here and some of the video from this tournament. Okay, Charcoonel here. Here we are at the Beaver, Pennsylvania Rainbow Cup, which is what I hope is going to be the beginning of 7 rainbows in 7 days. June 22nd, 7 p.m. Here I am, getting ready to start the Beaver Rainbow Cup.
Hi,
Hang on. Here we are with Ace Galore.
Ace Galore, yes.
We're just about to do Mortal Kombat,
Correct.
round 2 of the Beaver Rainbow Cup. We have never faced off before
Nope,
that I
first
recall.
time.
So here we go. You will see the results in the recap video. One of us will leave alive.
Okay, as you saw, my first opponent was Ace Galore. I lead Quagsire, he leads Venusaur. I bail out to Charizard, he's got a Mantine. So I get off Blast Burn, he lets it through. I shield up the Aerial Ace. I get to a Dragon Claw, gets his shield. I use my second shield. I want to try to win this battle with Charizard. I get a second shield and get to another Dragon Claw. Charizard does win that battle with enough energy or health left to get off a dragon attack against Quagsire. So now we got the Quagsire mirror match. He gets to that Earthquake pretty quickly. I get to mine and take out his Quagsire. But he's got Venusaur against my Lapras in the back. That was poor planning on my part, so Venusaur just eats Lapras for lunch. So good game to Ace Galore. He's up 1-0. I lead with Venusaur. He leads with Mantine. I shield the Aerial Ace. That's super effective damage. And I get to the Frenzy Plant, which he shields as well. I use the second shield. I want to try to beat the Mantine, and I do. So he has shield advantage. I have switch advantage. He brings Venusaur. I've got Charizard. He switches to Quaggy. I bring my Quaggy in. So he again gets to Earthquake very quickly. I get to mine. But he's got a shield left this time, and that makes all the difference in the world. So he gets Quagsire onto my Charizard in the back, takes me out. So keeping the shield advantage, Ace Galore defeated me in the second game, so that's good game to him. I'm 0-1 in this tournament. My next opponent is a very nice lady, Karen289, who I met and had a nice conversation with. She indicated she was somewhat of a casual PvPer, so she wasn't doing much switching or anything. So my Venusaur was able to take out her Lantern there. She brought in Fortress. I just get a couple of hits in here. I bring in my Charizard that burns the fortress pretty hard. She's not doing any switching, so I've got full energy, so I get off a Blast Burn against Quagsire. I've got both of her shields, so another Blast Burn. I use a shield here against that Stone Edge, and I get to a Dragon Claw, able to take out her Quagsire. So that's good game for game 1 against Karen 289. In the second game, I bring Quaggy. She brings in Lantern, which again I think is a pretty good matchup for me. I use the Stone Edge. Probably could have gone up to the Earthquake, but get to the second Stone Edge. She lets it through. And I get to a third Stone Edge. Take out the Lantern. She has saved a shield this time. And Quagier has time to get to another Stone Edge against Mantine. Got her second shield. So I let Quagsire go down. Bring in Venusaur. I've got a shield to use, so I use it. Trying to get to that Frenzy Plant, and I do. Take out the Mantine. She's got Victory Bell in the back, but I'm in pretty good shape because I've got Charizard in the back. So Victory Bell goes down, and it's good games to Karen 289.
Alright, here is Biggs, who I'm about to face in Mortal Kombat in the arena. We're going into the Thunderdome. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Any words of wisdom for the YouTube crowd?
No.
That's as good as anything I'd come up with.
Okay, so against Biggs, I cut off a little bit at the beginning of this accidentally. I led Quagsire versus his Mantine. I get up the Stone Edge. I've got both of his shields, so I've got double shield advantage here. So I bring in Fortress versus his Quagsire. I use one of my shields. Just trying to get to that Earthquake. And boom, there it goes. Quagsire goes down. So I have shield advantage. A little bit of health left on Fortress. So he brings Mantine back in. I shield up. That was a mistake. He had some energy. I thought I was going to be able to get to a charge move. So I shouldn't have used that shield. But Quagsire comes back in with some energy. Gets to the Stone Edge. Takes out Mantine. And does some work on Kingdra, and I've got Lapras who is able to finish off Kingdra. So Quagsire did some good work there, and I'm able to finish off Kingdra. So it's good game to Biggs and 1-0 in my favor. So I lead Lapras, he leads Mantine. So I'm just trying to get to the Ice Beam here. I can tank the Aerial Ace. Do get to the Ice Beam. He shields up. So he swaps out. Good timing on the swap. I get an Ice Beam, and again I've got both of his shields. So I'm just trying to do some work against Venusaur. I let Lapras go down. Bring in Fortress to finish off Venusaur. Tank any charge moves. So I've got a little energy here. So I shield that, and I get to the Rock Tomb. And I take out Mantine. Then he brings in Kingdra. I'm able to get to the Rock Tomb again. Use that shield, and I'm able to take out Kingdra with Fortress. So that's good game to Biggs.
Well, we have just concluded the Beaver Rainbow Cup, June 22nd, resulted in a 4-way tie between, who was it, myself, EXO, your trainer name?
BB Tara Douglas.
And who was the fourth?
Scientia.
4-way tie. Amazing.
Okay, Rainbow number 2, the Ohio Valley Pokemon League Rainbow Cup that took place in East Liverpool, Ohio. This was a 13 trainer tournament. And as you can see, again, I was the number 3 seed. Didn't do quite as well this time. The tournament resulted in a 5-way tie between Exile XO, BB Terra Douglas, DJ Space Cat, Lantis Scientia, and Mystic Menace 80. I ended up finishing 2-2. There will be a little video and some more battle highlights to follow. Okay, here we are at Critical Games and Hobbies in East Liverpool, Ohio for what I hope is leg 2 of 7 Rainbows in 7 Days. Okay, first opponent here is Luffy Soul Kaneki. This was a young man. He had some off-meta picks here. Threw me off a little. I wasn't prepared for some of these, but I just kind of flew by the seat of my pants. So I have Charizard here. He swapped in Flareon. So Charizard is able to take out the Flareon, and I've got full energy here. So I've got a Blast Burn ready for Kabutops. He lets it through, does most of the health there. I get to a Dragon Claw. He shields that up. And I let Charizard go down. Quaggy comes in, taps out Kabutops, and then gets eaten by Bayleaf. But I shield up with Lapras in the back, and Lapras is able to take out Bayleaf. So good game to Luffy Soul Kaneki, and I'm up 1-0. Making some switches here. Trying to remember what I switched to in this game. I think I may have... Yeah, I led with Quagsire here. He has Executor. So I swap out the Charizard. Take out most of the Executor's health before he swaps, but he times it out. He brings in Omanite. As you can see, his Pokemon were not completely powered up. I think he was at this tournament just for fun. There was a young man who was there with a couple of his brothers. They were having a great time. So Omanite and Charizard had a simultaneous knockout there. He brings in Flareon. He didn't wait for the full clock, so I'm able to see the swap and take switch advantage. I bring in Lapras, take out Flareon with a Surf. He's got Executor, and I tap him out. So good games to Luffy Soul Kaneki. Next opponent, I'm 1-0 so far in this tournament. So DJ Space Cat, Lapras versus Venusaur. I'm going to try to fight this out, but not working. I get off one Ice Beam. He shields, so Venusaur eats my Lapras. I bring Charizard. He swaps to Mantine. So I get off a Blast Burn. I had a little bit of energy there. I shield up. I'm trying to get to another Blast Burn, but it doesn't look like I'm going to, so I use the Dragon Claw instead. He blocks, so I've got his shields, but Mantine takes out Charizard, and he's got some sword energy, so I block the Aerial Ace, and he uses Ice Beam on Lantern. Doesn't do that much. I tank it. So I farm up some energy on Mantine, but he's able to get to the Frenzy Plant first. I think he had charge move advantage, so good move to DJ Space Cat, and good game. He's up 1-0. Second game. I lead Venusaur. He leads Mantine. So this isn't bad for me. I'm going to try to battle this out. Have to shield the Aerial Ace. I get the Frenzy Plant. Probably going to draw a shield from him. It does. I got a shield again. I want to keep Venusaur up. So I take out Mantine with Venusaur, but he's got shield advantage. So we've got a Venusaur mirror match here. He shields up, so I do get a second shield, but he gets to the charge move first. Venusaur goes down. In comes Charizard. He does a nice quick swap to Quagsire, and I bring in Lapras, but he's got a Stone Edge ready. I get to the Ice Beam, but he gets to his charge move first, so Quaggy takes out Lapras, and he's got energy, Stone Edge, Charizard dead. So DJ Space Cat takes me out. So I am 1-1 in this tournament. Next battle, I think, is the brother of my first opponent, Jackhammer TN. So this is the one and only Celebi I saw, I think, during my entire Odyssey here. So I've got Lantern versus Celebi. Get to the Thunderbolt. I'm able to take out the Celebi with a sliver of Lantern's health left. We're 1-1 on shields. So he brings in Ivysaur. I bring in Fortress. Fortress can tank whatever Ivysaur is selling. So we're just going to do this dance. I'm waiting to see if he switches out. He does. And I swap in Venusaur against Azumarill. Use my last shield. Venusaur is able to take out that Azumarill. In comes his Ivysaur. And that's good game to Jackhammer TN. So I'm up 1-0 on Jackhammer. Next game. Let's see. I lead Lantern again. He leads Azumarill. He swaps out for Ariados. I wasn't prepared for that, so I just swap in Fortress. And this ends up being a long dance of Cross Poison versus Fortress's fast attacks. Cross Poison doesn't do much, but I think it might be the only charge attack he had. So I'm able to just slowly wear down this Ariados, just eating those Cross Poisons. I finally get to the next Rock Tomb, and I'm able to take out the Ariados. He brings in Electabuzz. I shield again. That was a stupid move. I thought I was going to get to another charge move. That's a habitual mistake I keep making, shielding when I shouldn't. But I had Venusaur there, and Venusaur is able to get to the Frenzy Plant, and with the fast moves take out Azumarill. So good game to Jackhammer. Last battle in this tournament is with Mystic Menace 80. 2-1 at this point in the tournament. I lead Quagsire. She leads Azumarill. So she gets to the Ice Beam, which I tank. I try for the Earthquake, which she shields. So I get to the Earthquake. She shields again. I shield again. And I get to the third Earthquake, but hers goes first. I do get off the Earthquake, but it's not enough, and Azumarill is able to take out my Quagsire, and both of us burn both shields. So Lapras is able to take out her Azumarill, but here, as you saw, I tried 3 times to switch into Charizard there and was unable to do so. So I don't think it was a glitch. I think it was just off the timing on the move animation. So that screwed me up, and I lost that first game because I couldn't do that swap, or maybe it wasn't even the right swap. But second game, again, we both use the same leads. I tank the Ice Beam, get off Lightning Bolt. She blocks. It's Charizard versus Charizard. That may have been a mistake, but I get off the Dragon Claw. She shields. I shield her Dragon Claw. No shields left on the field. So I'm able to take out the Charizard. She takes me out with Azumarill. I bring Venusaur in. She gets to the Ice Beam, but I am able to take the Azumarill out. But she's got Kingdra. And my Lightning is not able to completely take the Kingdra out. So she wins that game. Good game. I finished 2-2.
Ivysaur at the conclusion of the Rainbow Cup. We have a 5-way tie. These 4 folks.
If you can
One,
beat them once and lamprey first,
1,
beats Vigoroth.
2, 3, 4 are 4 of the 5 victors today. It was a very fun tournament. I ended up going 2 and 2 back to my 50% ways, but it was a fun tournament here in East Liverpool, Ohio.
Okay, the third tournament that I participated in was a practice tournament in my Battle Park lobby, and I was able to win that. We only had 7 people, so it was a 3-round unranked tournament, but I did go 3-0 in that tournament and was able to emerge victorious, as you can see here. Got a lot of good trainers in my lobby, and this is the second or third tournament we've done since the formation of the lobby, and it was a lot of fun. I'm not going to include the video of this unranked tournament here, but I do include it as one of my 7. Okay, tournament number 4 was another remote tournament in the Go Stadium. I am in lobby number 15, and we had a rainbow tournament that occurred in the middle of this week. The winning trainer in that tournament was 10 Kinos. It was a 16 trainer tournament. As you can see here, I was the 4th seed, and I finished in 2nd place with a record of 3-1. Okay, rainbow number 5, Butler, Pennsylvania. A 17 participant 5-round tournament that took place on the morning of June 29th. The victor was Herdina 38, and I finished tied for 2nd. I went 4-1 in this tournament. And my first opponent was Easily Done 27, and I come right out of the gate with a very bad error. He swaps to Ivysaur. I swap inexplicably to Quagsire. So I'm stuck here. He shields, and Ivysaur eats Quagsire for breakfast. I swap in Charizard. I use a shield on his Sludge Bomb. I eat 1 Sludge Bomb. Charizard takes out Ivysaur. I've got a Blast Burn waiting for Lantern. But I've got Venusaur against Ninetales, which is not a recipe for success. Shields or no shields, he takes me out, and that screwed up swap just killed that game for me right out of the gate in this tournament. Big mistake, cost me game 1. So I've got an uphill fight here against Easily Done 27. Trying to think of how to switch this up. And I think I lead with Venusaur. He leads with Ivysaur. So I've been using a Frenzy Plant Venusaur. So it doesn't have a straight even match against either the mirror match against Venusaur or I think against Ivysaur. So I think I'm at somewhat of a disadvantage in these fights, in these mirror matches. But I stick it out. Ivysaur takes me out. The Charizard comes in and cleans up. Now I've got a little energy. I swap out to Quagsire. He swaps to Ninetales. But this is not bad for me. He lets the Stone Edge through. I tank the Psyshock. Quaggy takes out Ninetales. And I've got a Stone Edge waiting for Lantern. And a shield. So I use the Earthquake this time take out Lantern, and I win game 2. So I fought back to even against easily done 27. And we will see what game 3 holds here. I leave the same lineup here. So I'm leading Venusaur. Guess he took some time to set his line up. And he led Ivysaur. Same leads. So again, I fight this out, even though I think Ivysaur is going to eventually take me out. I just tank the Sludge Bomb this time. I get to mine. I see if I can get one of his shields. I do. I think I'm going to get to another attack, but he's got the energy charged up. Once again, I made that same mistake, shielding when I wasn't really going to get to another charge move. That's the 3rd time in this series of tournaments I did that. So anyway, I eventually get to Quagsire here. I block the Hydro Pump. I use a Stone Edge to get his shield. And now I'm able to get to the Earthquake. Take out Lantern. Ivysaur takes out Quaggy. Charizard. And I'm lucky. He had Fortress in the back, so I won the 3rd game against easily done 27. So good games. Next opponent is BB Tara Douglas. And I don't think she was feeling well during this tournament, but she was bravely fighting. And she brought Raichu, did not swap. So Venusaur ate Raichu up. She brings in Charizard, and I am able to bring in Quagsire. She shields. So I tank the Blast Burn. I'm able to get to Stone Edge. So I've got both of her shields. I get to the next Stone Edge with just a little health left. Take out the Charizard. She's got Quagsire in the back. And I'm in a good spot because I've got a fully charged up Venusaur, able to take out Quagsire. So good game in game 1 to BB Tara Douglas. Next game, she brings Raichu again. She plays a little different this time. I think the first time she was trying to save up energy or something. So she does a Thunder Punch. She gets a shield. Venusaur does still take out Raichu. She's got Fortress. I bring in Quagsire. So I get to the Earthquake. So I get her first shield. I try a Stone Edge. I get the second shield. I survive the Rock Tomb and get to Earthquake to take out Fortress. So she brings in Lantern, and I've got again charged up Venusaur, and I'm able to take out the Lantern. So good games to BB Tara Douglas. So I'm 2-0 at this point. I face Arcanix, a member of my discussion group and somebody who I've practiced with. So we've got the Venusaur mirror match. I think his Venusaur does not have Razor Leaf. So we both use the shield. He gets to his charge move faster, takes me out. I've got Charizard to mop up. So we both got one shield. I've got some energy on Charizard. He brings Quagsire. I swapped to Quagsire. I'm not certain that was the right play. Perhaps I should have just hit the Blast Burn. But I get to the Earthquake. He gets to his Earthquake. And I am able to take out his Quagsire. He's got a shield. But his Charizard is able to hit me with a Blast Burn and take me out. So that was pretty close, but Arcanix won game 1. Good game. So game 2, I tried to do something unpredictable. I really tried to... I thought he was going to lead Venusaur or Fortress. He did not, so leading Charizard I don't think helped me. But Arcanix is a pretty skilled trainer and a very good battler, so I thought the way to beat him was to try something unpredictable. It did not work and backfired on me. So I was trying to dig out of a hole the rest of this game and it didn't work. I ended up here with Quagsire against Charizard. Stone Edge took him out, but he's got Venusaur. I swapped Charizard, and he's able to swap in that Mantine with a shield. So he takes me out with Water Pulse. I take out the Mantine, but he's got Venusaur coming in to finish up my Quagsire. So that's lights out for me. Good games to Arcanix. I am 2-1 at this point. Next up, Lantis Scientia, and this is a guy who won multiple tournaments. You'll see it on this video. He won 2 or 3 tournaments on this video. I think I caught him on an off day, or he had a different team he was trying to use here. So we lead with Quagsire versus Slowbro. So I get both of his shields, and I shield up. This time I do get to the charge move, and I come close to taking out Slowbro. So I bring in Lapras. I finish off Slowbro, get a little bit of an energy advantage. He brings in Venusaur. I get to the Ice Beam. No shield left, so down goes Venusaur. And Lapras is still doing work here. Hitting Quagsire pretty hard with that Ice Beam. He gets taken out with Earthquake, but Lapras did some good work there. I've got Fortress in the back, survived that Earthquake, and I'm able to take out Quagsire for good game on the first game versus Lantis Scientia. Second game, I lead Lapras, he leads Mantine. So I'm going to fight this out, see if I can get to that, land a couple of those Ice Beams. So I shield up against his Aerial Ace. I could have tanked that. So we've traded shields. I tank the second Aerial Ace. I get to the Ice Beam. He tanks it, so I've got a shield advantage here, and I use it. And I get to the Ice Beam, so with burning both shields and both of his, Lapras is able to take out Mantine. Does a little work on Venusaur. He swaps that out. I bring in Quagsire for the mirror match. Earthquake. Earthquake in return. He gets the charge move first. But that isn't bad because Fortress mops it up. And we've got Fortress versus Venusaur. So Fortress was a good choice for me in this game. And he is able to mop up the Venusaur. And I go 2 games versus Lantis Scientia. Good games. And I was proud of that victory because Lantis is a beast. Last game, it's a rematch versus Easily Done 27. After I defeated him in round 1, he went on to win all the rest of his matches and face me at the very end, having gone 3-1 just like I did. So end up here, Quagsire versus Ivysaur. I get to an Earthquake. Gets one of his shields. He takes me out. So Charizard comes in. I tank the Sludge Bomb. End up with a Blast Burn. He had swapped in Lantern. So I've got Venusaur with some energy. Takes out Lantern. I've got a shield and I'm able to take out that Ivysaur. So I take game 1 from Easily Done 27 on our second go round. Good game. So again, he and I kept doing this Venusaur versus Ivysaur lead. So he gets the Sludge Bomb with I tank, which I shield. I get off the Sludge Bomb, which he shields. I tank his Sludge Bomb and then just let it go. Charizard comes in and he swaps this time. I swap to Quagsire. I shield the electric move. Use the Stone Edge, which he lets through. And a second Stone Edge to take him out. So he brings in Ivysaur. Quaggy gets to another Stone Edge. And then we've got the mirror. And Charizard has a Blast Burn queued up. But he gets to the Stone Edge and takes out Charizard. So easily done 27. Wins game 2. The final game of this tournament. He leads Ninetales versus my Lapras. He lets the Surf through. I shield the Psyshock. He was storing up energy. I shield 2 Psyshocks and take out Ninetales. Got an Ice Beam ready for Lantern. Doesn't do all that much. I'm just trying to do as much damage as I can. Maybe hopefully get a shield, which I do not. So I let Lapras go. Bring in Venusaur. Take out that Lantern. And once again we finish as we started with this mirror matchup. Ivysaur takes me out, but I have Fortress sitting in the back. So again, Fortress was a good choice for me. Fortress can tank anything Ivysaur has. So I'm able to take out that Ivysaur and win that match.
Tournament winner. Tell everybody your trainer name.
Herdina 38.
5-0. Well done. Good
Thank you very
performance
much.
in the
Appreciate
Rainbow
it.
Cup.
Good job, man.
Thank you very
And
much.
there's the trophy. Good job. Well
Thank you very
done.
much.
Yay! All right, I just got to
My
show
ranking
this trophy.
skyrocketed.
This is metal.
I'm almost back to where it was
That's an
before,
amazing
537.
trophy, and it was
I went
fabricated by
1,500
this gentleman
spots.
whose name is.
1,500. I was at
Well done, well done.
And I went up to 537.
You should send me a. You got a link to a business or something? Send it. I'll link it on the video.
I was
Very,
like
very
420
nicely
spots.
done.
Okay, Rainbow Cup number 6 took place a little later in the day after that Butler tournament, and it took place in the North Hills of Pittsburgh. This was a 19 trainer, 5-round tournament, and I did not do well in this one. You can see here there was a 5-way tie for the win, and I finished, wait for it, I finished 1 and 4. Not a good performance for me in this one. Okay, my first opponent in this one was Hannah Scorpio. We had severe lag problems. We did a whole first game, which I did win, but which was plagued by lag, so we agreed to play it over. So we start out here, Lantern versus Venusaur. Swap in Fortress. Trying to build up some energy. Just trying to take it out with fast moves. I do use a shield to try to keep some health. So she's able to get off the charge move first. I get the Earthquake. She blocks. And I've got... I tried to get to the second Earthquake. Couldn't do it. So maybe I should have gone for the rock move. But she gets to Earthquake first on Quagsire. I take out the Quagsire. She's got Fortress in the back. Stone Edge does a little bit, but I've got Lantern. She gets to the Earthquake. End of game 1. So good game to Hannah Scorpio. Game 2, Venusaur mirror match. Again, I had a Razor Leaf Venusaur. So I think I'm at a disadvantage in these head-to-heads. So I do get to the Sludge Bomb, but I've already burned a shield. I take the second Sludge Bomb, and now she's in position to take me out. I let Venusaur go, bring in Charizard. Take out her Venusaur. She brings in Lantern. I try to swap again. 2 times trying to swap. Can't swap out. Out of sync with the animations. So I get to the Lantern. I finally am able to swap out for Quagsire. Tank the Thunderbolt. Hit a Stone Edge. Take out Lantern. She's got Fortress. I get to the Earthquake. Good damage there. She takes me out, but I've got Charizard in the back to tap out Fortress. So I take the second game from Hannah Scorpio. We're 1-1. Game 3. I lead Venusaur. She leads Venusaur. Deja Vu. She gets the charge move first because she's using Vine Whip and I'm using Razor Leaf. I get to the Sludge Bomb. She blocks. So I tank the Sludge Bomb and let Venusaur go again. So she swaps out this time. She's got a Venusaur in the back. She gets to Earthquake first. I get to Earthquake second. She blocks it. I block the Stone Edge. I do get to the Earthquake. Take out Quagsire. So she's got Azumarill, and I've got Charizard. So things are not looking good for me. And she takes out Charizard. She takes game 3, so good game to Hannah Scorpio. I am 0-1 in this tournament. Arctic Seal, a rising up-and-coming trainer. So I swapped out to Quagsire and got eaten by Blossom. Interesting team on Arctic Seal. I was not very good in this match. So Charizard did take out Blossom. He brings in Lantern. Eats 1 Blast Burn. I use Dragon Claw. Got a shield. Shield the Thunderbolt. But he got to the charge move first. I was tapping the charge move, couldn't get it. So he took out my Charizard. I bring in Venusaur. He's got Ninetales. End of story. Arctic Seal takes game 1 from me. Game 2 I lead with Fortress. He leads with Ninetales. So bad choice for me. I've got to swap out. So that's essentially all she wrote for me in this game. Bellawesome just ate my Lantern. I bring Venusaur in. Probably should have brought in Fortress. But Venusaur is able to take out Bellawesome. He's got Ninetales. Both of my Pokemon get hurt by Ninetales. He swaps out Lantern. Brings Lantern in. I am able to take out the Lantern, but back comes Ninetales, who is able to take out Fortress and Venusaur. So he did good use of swaps to stretch that Ninetales. So good game to Arctic Seal. 0-2. My third battle is against T-Flick W. And I think this is the only Poliwrath I faced in this battle. So we end up here with Lantern versus Poliwrath. He's just hit me with power-up punch after power-up punch. He takes out the Lantern. I bring in Venusaur. So I'm able to take out the Poliwrath. Again with the Ninetales. I get to the Stone Edge. He blocks. He's got Solar Beam. There goes Quagsire. All I've got left is Venusaur, he's able to take me out. So Tyflick wins the first game. So I finally get a good lead match. So he swaps Poliwrath, I swap Venusaur, but I let the Ice Punch go through. So now he's hitting power punches, but I do take out the Poliwrath. We've got Ninetales again. Well, I should have swapped out, but instead I used a very ineffective grass move. Quagsire comes in. He shields. I swap out to Lantern. He swaps to Quagsire. So I get to the Thunderbolt. I use the shield against the Stone Edge. Lantern is able to take out Quagsire. So I win the second game against Tyflick W. Third game. I lead Quaggy, he leads Azumarill. So I'm looking for Earthquake here. He tanks it. I like to use a shield versus Play Rough. So I was going for the Earthquake again. He uses Play Rough, which I tank. I get to the Earthquake. So Quaggy takes out Azumarill. He brings Poliwrath. And once again, I used that shield, but I did get to the charge move this time, so I got his shield anyway. I bring back in Venusaur. I'm out of shields. He hits me with that Ice Punch and brings in Ninetales. So I swap to Lantern, and his Ninetales just takes them both out. My fourth opponent is Jackaskin, and this was a very young man with an interesting team. I think this was one of his first tournaments. So I end up here with Quagsire versus his Charizard. I use a shield, get to the Stone Edge, and I'm able to take out Charizard. So he's got Fortress. I get to another Stone Edge. He's got no shields left, so in comes Lapras. I use the shield on that Earthquake. Hit him up with a Surf. Take out Fortress. And now he's got Raichu there. He gets to the Thunder Punch, takes me out, but I've got Venusaur in the back, so Raichu goes down. Good game to Jackaskin. I'm up 1-0. Second game, lead Quaggy, he's got Fortress. So I'm just trying to get to the Earthquake here. I know Fortress charges up very slowly. He blocks, so I've got his first shield. Heavy Slam, I block it. I get to the Earthquake a second time. This time he lets it through. So I burn that next shield, and I'm able to take out Fortress. So I've got the swap advantage, he's got the shield advantage. Use an Earthquake, which gets his second shield, and Quaggy is able to get to Stone Edge, takes out Charizard, and I've got Venusaur, who can just burn right through Raichu. So I take game 2, good game to Jackaskin, and I finally get off the schneid, and I'm able to win one match, so I'm 1-3 at this point. And my last match is against Mogster88. I lead with Quagsire, he leads with Fortress. He lets the Earthquake through, I shield his Earthquake. So I get to the Stone Edge, and he lets Fortress go. So Quaggy beats Fortress. With a little energy advantage, I get to Earthquake first, and he does shield that. I shielded, and I got to my Earthquake. So I've got both of his shields. There's no shields left, but he has a substantial health advantage. takes out Quagsire. In comes my fortress. He hits the earthquake and then gets to a Stone Edge and takes out Fortress. With energy advantage, that's not a good battle for me. So I'm left with Lapras in the back. He hits me with a Stone Edge. I'm able to take him out, but he's got a Zoom Roll with a huge health advantage. And so I'm going nowhere fast. And he takes game 1. Good game to Mogster88. Second game I lead Venusaur versus his Ivysaur. Seen this repeatedly throughout these tournaments. I tank the Sludge Bomb. I get to mine. He shields. So I let Venusaur go, bring in Charizard. I use a shield. He swaps out, so I bring in Quagsire versus his Mantine. I get to the Stone Edge. He burns his second shield. And I burn mine on the Aerial Ace. And I'm going to get to Stone Edge. But he gets to Aerial Ace again. Takes out Quaggy. And I've got Charizard in the back. He's got Quaggy. So once he gets to Stone Edge, it's all over for me. And Mogster88 takes game 2. Number 7 that took place on June 30th. So actually 7 rainbows in 8 days. This was the Rainbow Cup in Fairmont, West Virginia, about an hour south of where I live. This was a 14 trainer, 4-round tournament. And Atlantis Scientia was the victor. And I finished with a whimper and not a bang by going 2-2 and reverting to the same record that I achieved in my very first Rainbow Cup. But this was the last and definitely also a fun tournament. Okay, here we are, Palatine Park, Fairmont, West Virginia, for the 7th of my Rainbow Cups. And I tried to do it in a 7-day period, but it ended up being 8 days. So 7 rainbows in 8 days, and this is the 7th. And a nice little park on, I think, the Monongahela River here in Fairmont, West Virginia. Okay, opponent number 1, the Lucid Shinoda. I lead with Lapras, he leads Executor. I don't think I saw many Executors in this tournament. He swaps to Charizard, I swap to Quagsire. Get to the Stone Edge, he blocks it. I'm gonna block this attack and I get to the second Stone Edge. He blocks it again, so we've got both shields. He uses Dragon Claw, and I'm able to get to a third Stone Edge. Take out Charizard. He brings Quagsire, I bring an Energy Charged Lapras, so I get off the Ice move. And I get to a second one pretty quickly. Take out Quagsire. So there's Executor back. And I get to a Surf with Lapras, so Lapras did some good work here. I take game 1 from the Lucid Shinoda. Good game. So we retool and we go in for game 2. I lead Lapras, he leads Executor. So I'm looking for that Ice move, but he swaps out this time, and again I bring in Quagsire. I shield the Sludge Bomb and I get to Earthquake. He lets it through and his Quaggy goes down. So I've got half energy here. He brings back in Executor with a Seed Bomb and takes out my Quaggy. A little bit of lag, but we kept going. He swapped in Charizard, I swapped in Lapras. Got a shield. Lapras gets to the surf. Got his second shield. I'm going to shield this, try to get to another surf, which I don't. Well, not before that Dragon Claw, but I do get to it, take out the Charizard. Executor comes back in, but my Charizard is able to take it out. So I win the first 2 games, and good games, and I'm 1-0. Second opponent is your GF's boyfriend. So I end up with Lapras against Charizard again. He lets the surf through. So Lapras is now doing work against Meganium, trying to get to that Ice Beam. He blocks that, and we let Lapras go. So Charizard comes in against Meganium. I finally was able to swap to Venusaur on the second attempt. Shield that Ice Beam. But he takes me out. So he's got a Azumarill against Charizard. And this doesn't look good. So he takes game 1 from me. Good game to your GF's boyfriend. Game 2. I lead Lapras, he leads Fortress. So we're going to fight this out. Fortress charges up slowly, but he beats me to the charge move. So I get a shield off of Surf. I get another Surf off, he lets it through. I use a shield to stop that heavy slam, get to a third Surf, take out Fortress. So Lapras does get to another Surf against Venusaur, so I do get the last shield. So here comes Charizard. Tank the Sludge Bomb. He swaps out. I swap out to Venusaur. So he hits me with that Ice Beam. But Venusaur is able to take out Azumarill. And his Venusaur in the back. So I win the second game against your GF's boyfriend. So now we go to game 3. I lead Lapras again. He brings Charizard. So I'm just trying to get to that Surf. I know that the Dragon Claw was so quick, so I tank that. I get the Surf off. So I get that first shield. He swaps out. I swap out to Charizard. So I shield the Rock move. And I just take him out with fast moves. So Azumarill gets a Blast Burn to the face. He shields, so now I've got both of his shields. I hit him up with another Blast Burn, which does pretty decent damage. I try to get off a Dragon Claw before he takes me out. No such luck, but in comes Venusaur. I shield up against that Ice Beam. Venusaur takes out Azumarill. And is able to get off a Sludge Bomb against Charizard and take him out. So, good games.
Okay, here we are in the middle, 2 rounds into the Fairmont, West Virginia Rainbow Cup, June 30th. Scanning around the intent concentration on the faces of all these trainers as they finish up round 2 or await round 3. Any words of wisdom, Yo-Yu Yes?
Just keep on battling.
All right, more to come when the final results come in.
Okay, opponent 3, Lantis Scientia with a brand new team from the day before. We start out with Venusaur versus Venusaur. I get to the Sludge Bomb first. He blocks, so I block. He swaps out to Magnezone. I bring in Charizard. I shield up that discharge, but so quick he takes me out. Bring back in Venusaur. He brings back in his Venusaur. I again get to the Sludge Bomb. He shields it, so he's able to take out my Venusaur and have a Frenzy Plant left. So he's got a Azumarill in the back, pristine. So good game to Lantis Scientia on game 1. He's looking fresh with his new team and takes me down. Game 2, I lead with Lapras, he leads with Azumarill. So I use a Surf. I think I'm just trying to shield bait. Doesn't work. He uses Play Rough. I tank it. I've got an Ice Beam. He tanks it. So I'm just trying to get one more charge move in, one more Ice Beam. See if Lapras can take out this Azumarill. He blocks it. So we're 1-1. My Lapras is gone. I've got Fortress against his Venusaur. So I'm just tanking this, trying to farm up energy. So this was a very bad swap. Instead of releasing that energy on Ninetales, I panicked and swapped out to Venusaur. I don't know if the outcome would have been any different, but I don't think that was the right move. So Lantis Scientia takes me out 2-0 in this tournament. My last opponent is Gooselip. So I'm 2-1 at this point. So he swaps in Charizard, I bring in Quagsire. I eat the Blast Burn, I get to the Stone Edge, which he shields. So I shield trying to get to another Stone Edge, which I do get to another Stone Edge. He shields it again, so there it was again. I used a shield when I shouldn't have to protect a Pokemon, thinking I was going to get to another charge move when I didn't. That is now the 4th time in this tournament I've made that mistake. So here I end up with Fortress against Charizard, and Gooselip takes game 1. Game 2, I lead Venusaur versus his Venusaur. So I'm just trying to get to that Sludge Bomb. I get there first. He shields, so I shield. So let's see if he piggybacked me. Nope, I get to the Sludge Bomb again. He shields it again. I shield it again. Thinking I'm going to win, but no, we faint at the same time. Once again, I probably should have let that through. So he brings Lantern. I get to the Stone Edge. He tanks it. No shield left. Hydro Pump. I get to the Earthquake. I'm able to take out Lantern and get to a Stone Edge against Charizard. So Quagsire did great work in that battle. I take game 2 from Gooselip. And the last game of this entire Odyssey, me versus Gooselip. Venusaur versus Fortress. So I swap out to Quaggy. He lets the Earthquake through. I shield the Rock Tomb. I go with Stone Edge. He shields. I shield again. I want to win this battle. So I win with full energy. He has shield advantage. I use an Earthquake, which he shields. I don't get to the Stone Edge. So he has a fully energied up Charizard. I've got no shields remaining. And I've got Venusaur in the back. So that's all she wrote for me. Gooselip takes my final battle from me. I go 2-2.
All right, here we go. Finished with the Fairmont, West Virginia Rainbow. And our winner is...
Lantis. Again. Hello.
Huzzah. Hooray.
Congratulations. 4-0. Some fierce competitors, that's for sure. Good game.
Well done, well done.
Thank you.
And the prize, you get the pin.
I want to thank you for coming on this Odyssey with me. It was an interesting road. I put a lot of miles on my car. In the end, I was able to do 7 rainbow cups in 8 days. 1 day longer than I initially intended to. My overall record, I won one of the tournaments outright. I tied for winning a second one of them. 2 others, I had 1 loss and finished in 2nd place. I was pretty happy with my performance in those 4. 2 of them I finished 2 and 2, so, and 1 of them I crashed and burned. All things considered, it was a great time. I don't know if I will ever do it again. I don't know if I'll ever have the opportunity to do it again, but I'm glad I did it. And thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of this video.